Good morning, church. I'm Pastor Dave, and this is the musing for the 22nd of December. I've done around 300 or so of these musings by now, and since I covered basically everything I know in about the first month, I'm very likely to be repeating myself here. But here we go. When asked, what is the greatest commandment, Jesus answered, love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your mind and with all your strength. We exist to bring glory and honor to God, to live the lives which He has given us in a way that indicates our understanding and appreciation of the goodness of God. That means living for Him, physically through our behavior, mentally with our thoughts, emotionally in our hearts, and spiritually in our souls. In other words, our thoughts and feelings and actions are to reflect our commitment to Christ. They should in fact be modeled on His thoughts, feelings, and actions. A few years ago, there was a sort of fad among young Christians to wear wristbands bearing the letters WWJD, standing for the words, what would Jesus do? Now, wearing one would remind you to consider your behavior, to filter your actions through a filter of, would Jesus do this? To evaluate what you were doing by comparing it to what Jesus would do in a given situation. Now, I'm not sure how effective these wristbands were, but I know that to be complete, we need to have some more wristbands. What would Jesus say? How would Jesus feel about this? What would Jesus think? There's so much more to us than merely what we do. Because we are unique. Our humanness, our nature, is unlike anything else in creation. We are not spirit beings that somehow got stuck in bodies of living tissue. And we're not animals that have somehow grown a soul. We are something else entirely, uniquely, wonderfully. We are a new thing. God took the dust of the earth and breathed life into it. Yes, we are dust. We are physical, but we are also touched by the divine. We are neither merely physical creatures nor purely spiritual creatures. Neither one thing nor the other, but rather both at the same time. It can happen sometimes. If you mix red paint and blue paint, you get purple paint, which is different in the details, but it's still the same basic stuff, still paint. But if you mix hydrogen gas with oxygen gas, you can get water. Something totally different in structure, totally different in nature. And we have to glorify God in all of the aspects of our unique, blended nature, mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. Right behavior, right feeling, right thinking, right relationship with God. God seems to have taught us how to handle this hybrid nature in stages. First, helping us to get our behavior right, and then moving on to correcting our feelings and thoughts. He started with the physical, I think, because our deeds are actually easier to control than our emotions and our thoughts. And to do this educational task, God gave His Hebrew people the law of Moses, moving them from a system based on vengeance to a system based on justice. Now, an eye for an eye sounds rather brutal to us today, but at the time it was a great improvement over mankind's usual method. You kick my dog, I beat up your son. I beat up your son, you burn down my house. You burn down my house, I murder your family. It was a system in which you didn't get even. You got way ahead. And then you got way behind. Once the Israelites fully understood justice, which was hundreds of years in the learning, Christ showed up for the next phase of their instruction to teach them that even better than justice was grace. A system built not on revenge, not even on fairness, but on love, forgiveness, and reconciliation. Vengeance heightens conflict. Justice balances conflict. But grace, and only grace, has the power to eliminate conflict, stopping it in its tracks. Christ taught us to end evil by refusing to respond to it on its own terms. He changed the rules of the game. God bless you all.